Hey guys, it's Rich and Mike, and we are shooting our January newsletter at Dear Coco, which is a little, what would you say, like cafe?
Deli.
Deli.
Cafe.
Yeah, I had half of a chicken sandwich from here earlier in the week, and it's freaking amazing.
I have not had it, but I ordered it. I'm gonna eat the whole thing, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely small enough not to feel bad about eating it. So what we're going to do today is we're going to give you a year-end recap for 2024, share a story about, making decisions during the home buying process and really kind of thinking longer term about that. So to end 2024 for the real estate market, we saw average sale price up above $480,000, which was a 3.4% gain for the year of 2024. We also saw activity with closed sales pick up. That was up just under 3%. And interestingly enough, like during the COVID, 2020, probably through 2022, we saw cash buyers were like such a large percentage of our market. And this past year declined. I mean, it represented roughly 17% of the market. Financing is
that means 80% of people buying need financing.
Yeah. Regardless of interest rate. And we were kind of talking yesterday, as a matter of fact, of like housing stability is just stable is just going to be the word for 2025 unless there's something unforeseen.
Yeah, I think we both think that the housing market is pretty stable and probably appreciate a little bit over time, not the rapid acceleration we saw during COVID, but back to a more 4% seems to be a pretty normal appreciation year over year.
Yeah. I mean, since World War II, housing has appreciated, at 3 to 4%. That's with recessions, that's with wars, that's with, basically every reason that we could possibly have not to see appreciation. And, in 2020, we obviously had COVID, and last, couple of years we've had high interest rates, and yet we still have housing appreciation and people still making decisions to buy, sell, or invest in real estate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Just a couple other little tidbits on 2024. We did see inventory rise roughly 19%, which was great. Gave people some more choices. We saw roughly 25 to 30% of the active houses on the market came off the market at the beginning of the year, but those are slowly coming back.
Well, I think they'll come back in the spring. I mean, that's kind of more of a traditional selling period here in Spokane.
Yeah. So from like a rate perspective,
Well, rates change all the time. They're a tradable commodity. They, as we got into October and we talked about some of our videos, the rates have gotten to the point where they're probably about as good as they've been in the last couple of years. We saw some deterioration in that over in November and December, then early January. Over the last couple of days, rates have started to improve again. We have an administration change coming. Monday's the inauguration, and I think there's a lot of unknowns of what's going to happen, but as it appears that the bond market and the traders are thinking that could be positive for the economy.
Yeah, awesome. Are you anticipating much change in rate for?
I don't anticipate, like I said, rates change, but I don't anticipate a large jump in rates, and I don't anticipate a large, reduction in rates. I think right now we've kind of been between 6 and 7, and I think that's probably where we're going to be for 2025. Hopefully closer to 6, but I don't think it's going to get much lower than that in the next year.
Yeah. So in making a decision to sell or buy, rates are probably going to stay within a range. Prices, either little change or some, price stability on the upside. We're not seeing a ton of inventory hit the market, and rates aren't declining, rapidly overnight. So, what you see right now is probably what you're going to get throughout 2025, unless something substantial changes.
Yeah.
And so,
I would agree with that.
Yeah. And so, we're like, you had a great story about a friend of yours and, kind of during the decision-making process, and, it was a $15,000 decision that has probably paid off.
Well, I think, when you start thinking about especially if you're buying a primary residence, it isn't always a financial decision. And I had a good friend of mine who had found his dream house. It was very similar to the house he had grown up in. It had a pool. It was in the neighborhood he wanted to be in. This is where he wanted to raise he has 2 kids, where he wanted to be. And it got to the end of the negotiation, and they basically were fighting over $15,000. The seller was in a position that she could not reduce it by $15,000, and he didn't want to go up. So I finally just said, "Are you really going to walk away from your dream home over only $15,000?" He's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Because that's money." I'm like, "It's only $15,000. At the end of the day, it's not going to change your payment much, and this is the dream house you want to be in. And so I don't understand why you would walk away from this house to go buy a house 2 blocks away that you don't want as much." So he did end up buying the house, and really, quite honestly, his wife about once a year thanks me for that conversation, because it was her dream house too. They're in the house, they've been there for 10 years now, and I think when it comes to buying a primary residence, the amount you're paying is not the only factor you need to consider.
Yeah, yeah, it accomplishes a lot of other memories.
Yeah,
and stuff,
yes,
so,
it does.
yeah.
And as you would say, probably even that $15,000 was made up in appreciation in 1 year.
Yeah. So just for keeping the lights on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, awesome. Well, if you guys are in the market to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, love the opportunity for one of the agents on our team to help you. We can be reached at 509-990-SOLD.
And if you're one of the 80% that does need financing, someone, either myself or someone on my team would love to help you, and we can be reached at 509-747-1300.
And if you're ever downtown and want a good chicken salad sandwich, Dear Coco, it's a spot to go.
Here we go.
Yeah. Bye.